Welcome to our first NBA Power Rankings of the preseason. I'm Jordan Sharp. The 2012-2013 season is set to tip off in just 3 weeks, and for our inaugural video of the rankings, I'm going to give you my top 10 ranked NBA teams for the preseason. We'll start with number 10, which happens to belong to the Los Angeles Clippers, who are plus 3,000 in the NBA future odds. The Clip Show thought they were about to become the team to beat in LA last season. That was until this summer when the Lakers went all in. And we'll talk about them later in the video. However, the Clippers have a solid roster, but they did struggle to score in spurts last season, which was one of the reasons why they got knocked out in a sweep against the Spurs in the playoffs. They are going to be very good, but their young core of Chris Paul, DeAndre Jordan, and Blake Griffin need a little bit more time to mesh before they are a true title contender. Sorry, Clippers fans. Number 9 may surprise you a little bit, but I'm going with the Denver Nuggets, who are plus 4,000. The Dwight Howard trade turned Andre Iguodala into the Mile High City, and now with all their other starters, they have a lot of all-star potential on that team. AI will only help their defense, and we already know that they can score in bunches. Problem is, their other 4 starters are all 24 years or younger, so they could stink or they could surprise a lot of people. I'm voting on the surprise. Number 8 is the Brooklyn Nets at plus 5,000. Obviously, they have a lot of chemistry issues to solve with their new roster, and even if they can get some production out of their bench, they're going to be a solid team this season. The problem is they're going to be playing a 7-man rotation a lot because they don't have a whole lot of depth, so their guys could wear down as the season goes on. However, with the roster they have currently and with the star power of Damian Williams, they're definitely a top 10 team here in the preseason. Number 7 is the Philadelphia 76ers at plus 3,000. With now Andrew Bynum as their number 1 go-to guy at center, and along with their other core of young guys, this is going to be a scary good team, especially on defense. And don't be surprised if they make it to the Eastern Conference Finals. They are going to be studs on the defensive end of the floor, and I think their offense is going to flow well through Bynum along with all their other young guys. Number 6, I have the Chicago Bulls at plus 1,800. Derrick Rose may not be back until around March. However, this team still has a phenomenal core, and they're going to be good enough to, if they get Rose back at a certain time, they're going to make a push for a playoff spot, a good playoff spot, possibly a home playoff spot. So, with the exception of Rose being out, the one thing that they have with it going for them is the fact that Tom Thibodeau is literally the Bill Belichick of NBA defenses. He's going to be able to stop anybody and everybody. He'll be able to bring up a scheme to keep the Bulls in it late in the season. Starting out the top 5 of the San Antonio Spurs at plus 1,200, and even though they lost their the trip to the finals last season as they were ousted by the Thunder, they're not going to finish outside the top 3 this season in the West. They're still a very solid team. They brought back Tim Duncan. They brought back all their guys that helped them contribute last season. And to be quite honest with you, they're a lot better equipped to beat the Lakers than the Thunder are, I think, so I'm putting them at number 5. The Big Green Machine, the Boston Celtics, comes in at number 4 at plus 1,200. However, you can still find these guys at plus 2,500 at some books, which is excellent value. Boston added a whole lot of talent in the offseason, from 2 rookies to Jeff Green re-signing and Jason Terry also coming over from the Mavericks. This team is still going to be very solid, even though they lost Ray Allen. Plus, they were within a game of beating the Heat last season and going to the finals with all the injuries they had. If they stay healthy, and I know that's a pretty big if, they could beat the Heat. Starting out the top 3 is none other than the second place team from last season, the Oklahoma City Thunder, who come in at plus 350 in the future odds. Even though they have some decisions to make on their roster this season, they're still going to be a very solid team, and Kevin Durant is still going to lead the league in scoring. They're going to be a good bet this season, whichever way you look at it. However, they are facing some serious cap issues, and some moves during the season could compromise a trip back to the Western Conference Finals. I have the defending champs, the Miami Heat, coming in at number 2 at plus 225. The Heat have retained their entire championship roster, and they've added the likes of Ray Allen and Rashard Lewis. And even though I do have them in second, it's virtually a tie for the top 2 spots here in the NBA Power Rankings early. However, my hatred for the Heat cannot allow me to rank them number 1, so get over it, Heat fans. The number 1 team on my power rankings goes to none other than the Los Angeles Lakers at plus 200 in the future odds. LA, of course, brought in Steve Nash and Dwight Howard in the offseason, and they already had a very deep lineup. And plus, they did not have to compromise that roster one bit to get those 2 guys. So they are going to be a stud this season. Now, obviously, they have the chemistry issues to work out with. However, with Kobe Bryant leading the charge, I have a feeling they're going to work it out. They're going to be much better defensively this season with Dwight Howard patrolling the middle more than Andrew Bynum, considering Howard is a lot more mobile. And plus, they are going to just be able to score and stop people at the same time with that current roster. They're my big favorite. The best value of the preseason odds has to go to the Boston Celtics, considering you can still find them at plus 2,500. They will easily be in a Eastern Conference Finals race with the Miami Heat and the Sixers this season. and at some moderate size or more talent of their roster, they could even beat the Heat. However, as I said, they're gonna have to make it. They're gonna have to be healthy. That'll do it for me this time. Be sure you follow my NBA parlays and teasers as the regular season gets going. I'll give you one of each every week. So until then, I'm Jordan Sharp, and this has been our preseason power rankings here at SBR Forum.